Yeah, bet that's fine.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike again. You're on my channel, and I'm being interviewed, so I thought I would simul stream the interview while he's recording it. Tell us who you
Oh.
are and why you are interested in interviewing me.
Well, on Twitter at least, I go by Tom Alpheus. So if y'all want to follow me there, please. I'm desperate. No. But yeah, I'm here because I like Mike's work, especially because I've heard that he was the artist for the Injustice comic. I was like, damn. Okay, I
That's
was
me.
like, damn. And also because I keep seeing his name pop up when in this whole gay ops that is known as the Eric versus Dick drama. So there's that helps matters as well. And but yeah, I'm a for anyone that's watching your stream, I go by Tom Alpheus. I'm an aspiring writer. Uh, I'm also a superhero. If you can see my Twitter, you'll see what I mean by that.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna call you Tom.
Okay, yeah.
That's my brother's name, so I can remember it.
So yeah, I'm basically here. I've been like kind of researching up on you, and first things first is how did you like get started in comics, and how did you?
Hold on. Sounds like I'm getting an echo, so let me grab some headphones and see if I can fix that.
Stream about to be good when the headphones are wired.
Well, I don't do the Discord thing very much.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
You good now?
Fuzzy Creature, is there an echo still, or are we good? And then I have to wait 15 seconds for them to reply. All right. So presuming there's no more echo, what was your question again?
So like, yeah, how did you get started into comics, and how did you just die from like the mainstream? Like, what was like the story between that there and then?
I got into comics when I was in 3rd grade. Professionally, I got into comics when I was in junior college. I just took a brown paper bag of artwork to WonderCon, and that was my first con. I showed it around. I got Tom DeFalco's business card after he did my portfolio review, and that actually did lead to me doing some work later on for Marvel. But pretty much immediately after that, I got work at Malibu on their Protectors line. So, and that was from that convention.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the short version. That was 1992, so I've been in this business for 32 years.
And how did you become the artist for Injustice? That's like a pretty big deal.
I'm a Wildstorm alum, so to speak. Not that I never worked in the office, but I was always at the office, and I lived in San Diego too, and I did a lot of work with Wildstorm, and I got to know all the guys there. And so when DC bought out Wildstorm, it kind of overrode my blacklisting at DC, because I was blacklisted at DC New York, but I still
the fuck happened there? The fuck happened there?
So I was at a convention, and I was working on Adventures of Superman at the time, and Jeff Loeb was at the convention. He was writing the Superman title with Ed McGuinness, and he was saying how Superman was a Christian. He was probably like a Methodist or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said. But then I went back home, and I got on the DC Comics message board, which I was a regular on, and I said, "Hey, Superman's a Christian. Jeff Loeb said so." That pissed off the SJWs of the day, who then started interrogating me about my beliefs and what did I think about homosexuality and all this stuff. And I said, I believe the Bible is true. And so
when was this? You said
2000, I think 99, 2000. No, it was after 2000.
That's major foreshadowing for today's.
Oh yeah,
predictions. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this group of people on the DC Comics message boards that literally called themselves the GLA, the Gay League of America, uh,
Great.
started a letter writing campaign. I think they sent to Bob Schreck. Bob Schreck was an out homosexual at the time, and the Batman group editor. So he was like the most powerful editor. If you're the Batman group editor, you're the most powerful editor at Batman. And
Okay.
pretty soon, at the time this happened, I was the fill-in artist on JLA, and I had a green lit 12 issue maxi series that was basically the JLA in a space version of the Guns of Navarone. And
Okay.
that was greenlit. The writer was already working on it, and everything disappeared. I got blacklisted. Nobody could offer me anything. And then I veered off into the independent space for a while, and then came back to when Wildstorm got bought out by DC, and I started getting some work over there.
And that's how you ended up with Injustice.
That's how I ended up on Injustice.
Well, yeah, and Injustice is pretty. It was successful. So hey, it was
Yeah,
a
it was the
redemption.
#1 digital comic in the world
Oh, okay, damn. Okay.
for like
Uh,
5 years.
yeah. So redemption, and then you got kicked out again. So what happened?
I didn't get kicked out again. I just sort of stopped. Well,
this isn't a Ethan Skyver kind of story. If that's what
no, I didn't
Okay.
get kicked out, but the Injustice stuff sort of faded out because Tom Taylor, I think, got a little bit of Trump derangement syndrome, and he was the writer. So he was like, they decided on when Injustice 2 started. I was the artist on this Supergirl segments, and they said, well, what we've decided, instead of like, so in Injustice we were kind of flying by the seat of our pants, and it's like anytime somebody was free, they got the next chapter or set of chapters, right? And so it's like you'd see there were 3 creative teams because it was coming out weekly. And so you had the different creative teams, whoever's free next, whoever's free next, whoever's free next. And they thought that was a little too haphazard. So they said, all right, we got a little time on Injustice 2, so we're going to jump ahead, and we're going to give each character arc will be drawn by one particular team. And I'm a team by myself. I don't need an inker, right? So
Damn.
I got the Supergirl team. And then, the other artists got the other teams. But the Supergirl stuff, it started off strong, and then it just sort of tapered out because she got blended into like the Wonder Woman team or something like that. I honestly didn't follow it after that. After I stopped working on it. But
that's kind of what happened. Yeah, that's
yeah, so I just kind of faded out. And then honestly, I think at that time I was making way more money doing conventions than I was doing comics. So I just really wasn't like banging on the door asking for work, and just kind of faded out. And then now it's like pretty much the last editor that I knew at DC just retired like 6 months ago. So it's like I don't know anybody there anymore except Jim Lee, and I'm not sure Jim's gonna give me work.
So now you're independent. You're kicking it. I know you worked with people like Shad Diversity, for example. Who else have you worked with apart from him?
I mean, I did my own stuff. I worked with the DeBell brothers in developing the Meg comic, and then I ended up buying the license directly from dang it, I just blanked on his name. The writer of the Meg, Steve Alton.
There you go.
Yeah, and other than that, I think I pretty much just worked on my own stuff. I clicked in with Shad because I found out who Shad was because somebody came into my chat and said, "Hey, Shadiversity is a big fan of yours," and I'm like, "Who's Shadiversity?" And then so they sent me the channel, and I went and I saw that he had my book up on his shelf, so I just sent him a message. I was like, "Hey, you have my book up on my shelf," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan," and blah blah blah. And so I sent him a link one time, and he just came on my show while I was on with a couple of the other um, Game of Thrones YouTubers, Order of the Green Hand, and Quinn's Ideas.
Oh,
And
Game of Thrones YouTubers. Oh yeah, you did Game of Thrones, right?
I did
Like
the Game of Thrones
Duncan.
covers. I did the Game of Thrones prequel series, the Dunk and Egg books. Yeah. And so they came on, or Shad came on. And I think pretty much that first stream, I was like, "Hey, you should do a comic book."
And that's a Shadow of the Con. Yeah, there's
Shadow
Shadow
of
of
the
the Con.
Conqueror. Yeah. Yeah. Which I have right here in leatherbound.
Damn.
I know,
Okay,
right?
okay.
How cool is that? It's my first leatherbound book.
I'm surprised that Shad of all people that it was able to get you the leather bound cover.
I'm not surprised. He loves leatherbound stuff. But
I
yeah,
don't know if
that's about how that happened. I just started, me and Shad started talking, and then at some point, we were throwing ideas about what he could do, and he's like, "Well, I've got a novel. I'd love to see it adapted into a, graphic novel series." And so I checked out the novel, and I said, "Yeah, let's do this."
Nice. Well, let's talk about your Game of Thrones days because like I just remember that you had that.
Yeah.
So you did the prequel for you did Dunk and Egg.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume that the reason why you stopped working on those is because our good pal George R. R. Martin is a very very well known deadline hitter. As you know, he just keeps releasing content. He just doesn't stop. Like every year he released a new book. So I'm assuming it was a bit too overwhelming for you to just continue like with his stream of content that I think it was just too much. Like and it has.
I'm never gonna say a bad word about George. He's a really good guy. He's a really loyal guy. His motto is I dance with the one that brung me, right? So like that was way back 2001 2002. I started working with the DeBell brothers, and they're the ones who got George to agree to do a comic book, but they didn't want to. He wasn't going to just hand this upstart company A Song of Ice and Fire, which is the Game of Thrones series, right?
Yeah.
So he said, "Well, how about you start with my prequel novellas, which is the Dunk and Egg books." And so that's when I started working with George. It was a long time before HBO ever knocked on his door.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and so I did his first lithograph. Um, that was probably up until Superman killing the Joker. That was like my most famous image was Robert and Rhaegar. It was called King
Yeah,
Rhaegar died. Yeah.
yeah. I
So
don't hate George. Don't worry. It's just thing.
yeah,
It's just like
no, he's
damn.
late.
Yeah, he's just
Look,
late.
I get it. I get it in the sense that, um, boy, the last season, and to some people, the last 3 seasons, those just destroyed the property, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
Like
got
he's
to
like
hurt for him to even. He's got to lose motivation at that point, right? And be like,
I I I might be wrong with this, but I think he spoiled the end of his books. Like apparently it's like the same like where Bran was also going to become king in the books apparently. So I was like, wow, he is
yeah, he
really
probably gave them the key points, right? But
yeah.
I guarantee you the way you got to those key points is not the way they did it in the show.
Yeah, so I don't really uh, yeah, so I don't really know if he really doesn't have motivation. Like I kind of, and he also keeps getting distracted. Like the House of the Dragon show, he's working on that now.
And he's
Um,
also working on the Duncan Egg series.
Yeah, so like he's just going on like he's just doing everything except for
I know.
his own book.
I know.
But honestly, he ain't gonna be as bad as other authors that I've discovered. And usually in these videos, I've already told like two other YouTubers this, but yeah, but basically, I have this guy, right, like this author who I don't like at all. I don't know. I'm gonna rant a tiny bit, just a little bit. But do you happen to know Patrick Rothfuss?
Rothfuss, Painkiller Chronicles.
Yeah.
Those books are so good, and I've been waiting as long for the next one as I've been waiting for Winds of Winter.
Yeah. So yeah. So I honestly, I think Patrick Rothfuss is a far worse like George. He's a far worse George than
Yeah, he's
than
got no
George.
excuse. He has
No,
nothing
he
else
really
to do. Write the
no
book.
no he really doesn't because he just has those two books. I get okay. Let me tell you what happened. Like so this month, right? Oh, sorry, last year, 2023. He did something that made me want to cry. So basically, I actually discovered Patrick not too long ago in like 2022, and I was like, oh, a new fantasy author I could eat.
Oh, you
Pause.
only 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'm not even that. Yeah, I'm not that, and yeah, like I'm not that.
Yeah.
Like
I discovered
I
him
haven't been.
like 8 years ago, and I'd just I've been waiting this whole time.
Yeah, I haven't been. I'm not. I'm not versed in like. I haven't experienced the pain that is waiting.
Yeah.
But like, I still don't like him just because I'm like, oh, I feel bad. Like I feel
I
so
want to
bad.
know what happened to Kavoth.
But basically, I kept researching about Patrick. I was like, how the hell did this guy take 14 years to release the third book? And then I learned everything, and I was like, wow, Patrick, what the fuck? Um, but then, but then in 2023, this is the first drama that I actually experienced like on my own. So I saw on Twitter, right, that Patrick was gonna make a new book, and I was like, what the fuck? Is that the third book? And of course, not. I wasn't gonna be a third book. What are you talking about? And I was like, okay, well, maybe what could this be? Could this be a new IB, what IP? Could this be maybe a spin-off? It could be anything. So I got my pal, who also hates Patrick with a deep passion. Uh, he
I can't say I hate him. I just hate that he's making us wait so long. It's crazy.
So yeah, so both of us saw that Patrick was gonna make a stream, right? And ironically, this stream was also the first time that he streamed in a while. So he's just pausing everything. He's just halting everything. And so me and my pal, he's also an upcoming writer. He's also a upcoming writer, by the way. So I might send you his information so you can like check out his progress. He's really he's making some interesting stuff.
Hey, Jeff Potts in the channel wants to know what your channel is again, and it's not. It's just being recorded right now on his channel, so he'll be putting it up later. What is your channel?
He wants to. The name of my channel is Mark Faraday. Let me like MARK and then Faraday, like space. I just said that.
All right, I put it in the chat.
Yeah, I got two different names because I'm a secret identity. You know, I'm a superhero. If you forgot that, I fight crime. But basically, me and my pal, we were watching his stream, and the way Patrick talked, I was like, Patrick, what are you saying, dog? It's like, what excuse is that? And then he finally got to the reveal of what the book was, and I want you to guess what the book was. It's not the third book, in case you're wondering, but whatever guess you have, you're gonna be more disappointed. That's all I want to say.
I have no clue.
Yeah, give at least one shot. Yeah, try which one.
The Life and Times of Harry Houdini.
Okay. So the third. So ironically, I would have read that, but the third book. I mean, the book that he was writing at the now, was actually it was this. So in 2015, he wrote a short story for George R. R. Martin. There's a little connection. The Lightning Tree, for George's
Wild cards?
I thought, what?
For wild cards?
No, for Rogues, which is the anthology that
Oh, okay.
he collabed 20 people with. Um, the George was Patrick was story 19, I think. Um, so Patrick, right? He wrote that, the Lightning Tree, and so the book he was writing the now, in 2023 was it was a remaster of the short story he wrote in 2015.
Man, how can you build a fan base like that and then just abandon them
Yeah, like the fuck.
for a decade?
Yeah, no, okay. He's kept y'all because I'm saying y'all because I don't count in this. So he's kept y'all waiting for like what 14 years, and then his last book comes out 8 years ago, only for the newest book to be just a remaster of that thing you wrote with fucking George.
Yeah, and he released like a segment, right, of the third King Killer Chronicle.
No, worse. He read the prologue, which if you read the books, you know that the prologues are like one page. Um, he read the fucking prologue on his stream. He was reading that shit, and then by the end of that segment, he was like disappointed. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's just not good." So that's ain't canon.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He the muse must have left him or something because he's gosh dang it, man. That's so disappointing. Anyways, let's move on.
You're
Disappointments
just like,
abound everywhere in this space. So
well, before we move on, like, can you at least tell me if those books? Because I actually tried reading the first one.
the King
I'm a
Killers?
yeah, I'm a terrible reader, but can
Oh,
you at
they're
least tell me if
great.
they're great?
Yeah. That's
Should
why
I continue?
it's so
Should I
annoying.
should I continue reading the first book, or is this it's not even worth it? Because like I don't even know if this guy's gonna release the
Oh,
third book.
I would. Um Although then you're just gonna get blue balls when after the second book.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, just be like that. So yeah, I don't. I guess I'll just because I have the first book with me, like in my library.
Yeah, I
But
wonder if he's even working on it. I mean, he's got to be, right?
God, I hope so. God, I hope so.
If you even look, if he ever has a release date on the third one, then you have at least you have the first one ready to read, and then you can just
Yeah, so
breeze through them.
yeah, but I feel like I'm gonna die first before I say the third one.
No, but it's good. That's why it's so disappointing, is because it's so good, and
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
yeah,
But yeah, moving on from Patrick. Uh, what- well, speaking of like general writers, who would you say are like your favorite writers, like your top five?
George.
Of course,
Um, gosh dang, I'd say Patrick, but he doesn't finish his. um, yeah, I don't know. I don't read enough. I tried to
here,
read
here, brother.
Jordan, but it was
Jordan,
Robert Jordan.
Wheel Time
But
guy.
it was yeah, but it's the same problem I have with Tolkien. It's like so much. I don't know if it's exposition or just detailing every color of every blade of grass, but it's like
Yeah, that's
I can't. And I try to read that stuff like right after I had read Game of Thrones, and it's like actually like the first 3 or 4 novels of that series, and I think George trained because George worked in Hollywood for a really long time, so he has this move the visuals along with the story pacing that works so well and keeps you so interested that it feels like you're driving along the highway at 80 miles an hour, and then you grab Tolkien and you whip it open and suddenly you're in a golf cart, doing 4 miles an hour, and you're like, we're not getting anywhere.
and you feel that way with Robert Jordan.
I feel that way with Robert Jordan too.
Yeah,
And
I was.
interestingly, and this isn't not obviously these guys are fantastic writers and everybody loves them, but Shad is the same way. He's very, very detail oriented. And so, but converting that into a graphic novel, I had to leave out a lot of that stuff. Or actually, a lot of the stuff I could use as because it's detailed.
Reference.
I could still use it and condense that into visuals. But a lot of stuff just is, just like Jordan. It's that writing style that it's not fast paced enough for my to be one of my favorite styles, I guess. But I have complaints about different styles. Like I can't read not that I can't read it, but like Hemingway, he's like super staccato.
Like simple.
his terse. No, like
Oh.
the way he writes is like, I call it staccato because it's like it bam bam bam. It's like very terse sentences, sentence structure, and I don't know. There's no poetry in that to me. It's just very.
There was actually a little old timey drama. This is what the YouTube drama was back then, but like without the YouTube. But Hemingway, right, actually had like a beef with fucking Lovecraft of all people, because if you read Lovecraft shit, you would see that Lovecraft fucking rant, like, oh god, like it's like one of the most famous rants that he goes on in the books. It's like a whole ass page, just of him describing a fucking cat. Like, okay. And so yeah, like Lovecraft is known for his just dramatic ass descriptions.
Yeah.
And Hemingway was like, dog, dog. Why?
Yeah.
Like so that was like the beef back then.
Yeah. So you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who I really dig, and I wish he had done more stuff. Joseph Heller, Catch-22.
Joseph. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's such a great book. And he did a sequel to it. I'm trying to remember the name of it. But it takes place like decades later.
Catch-22. I haven't read it though, so
yeah, it's funny because they did a movie, and like the movie is so much the book. It's almost it was probably one of the most faithful adaptations of book to movie I've ever seen. So
yeah, okay. Speaking of Robert Jordan, though, I was actually warned by like what you said about like the whole world thing. Like how I was actually warned by Crimson Rogue, who's another person I talked to. He told me the exact same thing about like how Robert Jordan was just like he loved the world building. Like he but I don't know if that comes at the cost of the characters though, like because he just not wasted, but like he just spent so much time on describing the fucking roof of a singular house.
Yeah, I feel like you could do abridged versions of those books that would be really great for like younger readers who have shorter attention spans, or me.
Is that why there's fucking 12 of them? 12 of them?
13. There was supposed to be 12, but after he died, what's his name?
Brandon
Sanderson came in and split the last one up into 2 books.
Oh yeah, Brandon Sanderson himself, he's a beast. He does not take a break. He has no life. He doesn't take a break.
He's a workhorse. Yeah. I haven't read any of his stuff. I'm surprised I haven't, but yeah, I should.
Apparently the lore of his shit goes hard.
Because I knew Robert Jordan and like that's the first time I ever heard the name Brandon Sanderson was when after he passed away and they were using him to replace Jordan. So.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming you're like you're well versed in like the whole fantasy like community. I guess.
I wouldn't say I'm terribly well versed, but I've read a few things.
What other writer would you consider to be? Well, actually, you have your own comic. Yeah, you do. You have the Pluto Alliance, if I remember correctly. Is that what it's called?
Oh no, Pluto. That was a NFT project.
That lizard had a helmet on.
Oh, that's not a comic.
No, Pluto Alliance that was for BitBoy Crypto. He had I did a couple of NFT sets for him.
No. What's your comic? It's Lone Star, right?
Lone Star. Yeah.
Lone Star. Okay. What's that about? Like so I can like. Pick it up
Lone Star. He's sort of a hero out of time. He was a Air Force pilot who was tasked with taking down the Nazi Ubermensch with some sort of advanced technology. This is actually stuff that isn't even in the book, but he was a guy who legendarily was the hero that took down the Nazi Ubermensch and then died in the process. But he didn't die. He was given special powers and became the first of an elite squadron of what are called the Unknown Soldiers, who were recruited to fight the things that go bump in the night, the vampires, the ghouls and goblins and werewolves and the like. And so in Lone Star, where it's like, I believe it takes place in 2012. It's not modern day, but it's like close enough to modern day. And you have Lone Star and his team going up against a vampire pride. I call them prides for their particular reason, but going up against a vampire pride, wiping them out. But the leader of the pride actually escapes and then vows revenge on Lone Star, and then it's sort of this cat and mouse game between the two of them for the remainder of the 3 books.
Okay, all right. Sounds interesting. I don't know if I might pick up a copy.
Yeah, LoneStarComic.com.
Oh, okay. And speaking of, and speed, we gotta get this out of the way just in case. But what's your relationship with Eric July and just generally the indie scene in general? Like, how's that going? Like, what's that?
I mean, I've only talked to Eric July one time, so I don't really have a relationship with him outside of once in a while he likes something I say on Twitter, or I'll respond to something he says.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he has responded to me on Twitter too, so I don't dislike him. I just don't really have a relationship with him. So
how's your relationship with like the general indie scene and on like this comics, like like,
can you have a relationship with a scene?
Maybe like you could be like praised, hated, both. I don't know.
I mean, I've got my people who like me and people who don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like
not really sure how else to phrase that.
So I was just saying, because there's like other people in the scene that also know and of your existence, like Ethan Skyver, Vito Gesualdi, like all those people, who probably I can't tell. I don't even know anymore. I keep track of this shit and I get lost anyways. So, but I actually talked to Vito the other day. Well, not the other day, like last month. He was, something. I'm gonna say
he was what?
He was something. That's all. That's what I'm gonna say. He was definitely it was a conversation of all time, if I do.
Yeah, say so. Vito. I find Vito to be quite congenial. I obviously disagree with him on probably most of the stuff he believes in. and I don't think he would take offense to me calling him a degenerate. But no, I find him quite congenial and friendly. So other than that,
Oh yeah, if you can see the videos in my server. Yeah, like he also follows me back. So yeah, I also disagree with Vito on a lot,
pretty much everything.
A lot, but he follows me back. I follow him, so it's okay. It's fine. It's whatever. I bought his shit. I bought his comic.
Super Killer. Yeah, I've actually had him on my show. Like I was on John De La Rosa's stream, and John brought Vito on, and I had no idea who he was. And then like, I think even on my stream, I was like, "Why do people call you a pedophile?" I can't remember, but it was like right when I met him, I like invited him on the show, and yeah, we had a conversation, and yeah, he cleared that up, and he's like, yeah, I've never even seen Cuties. It's just that I tried to, I'm pro free speech, so I didn't, if it's not illegal, then you shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't really think. I don't think he's a pedo. I think he's retarded. Like I just think he's kind of retarded. But he's not. I don't think he's a pedo.
Oh, I think he's got a lot of bad takes. but
Yeah.
I'm sure he thinks the same about me.
Yeah, and if you actually watch the video where I talk to him, there's like a moment where we both kind of have a little spat because I'm a fan of a couple because I'm a fan of a lot of people of a lot of the people that he hates, for example. Like and then when I told him that in the call, he just like he just was dissing me. He was dissing me. So yeah, I think he has a lot of bad takes, like a humongous amount, even you could say. But Vito, if you're gonna watch this, I still love you. Please don't kill me. Uh, but yeah, like, but he's okay. I appreciate him enough to where I did buy his comic, Super Killer. I don't know when that's gonna come here. So Vito, what Vito? My 25, and I actually made a shirt. Um, yeah, I made it. I didn't buy it because I was too lazy for all that, but I made a Super Killer shirt. And yeah, I posted it on my Twitter, and all of his minions fucking started reposting it. So that's pretty rad. Let's hope one day when I read Lone Ranger, I like it enough so I can also make a shirt.
Lone Star.
Yeah, Lone Star. Let's hope that.
Lone Ranger meets Lone Star. Hey, there's an idea.
So yeah, that's the goal. Let's hope your comic is good enough so I can also make a crappy T-shirt and post it on my Twitter.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's plenty of reviews out there. I wouldn't listen to Ethan's review of it because obviously he's just us doing everything out of spite. But I don't really want to go there.
Oh yeah, I've seen his. Well, not seen because I'm too lazy for all that, but I've seen like his videos on ISOM, and I'm like okay,
He's so
on the real.
pedantic. It's so pedantic.
I don't. I'm not the biggest fan of ISOM. I'm not like a defender of it or anything. I read I have the first issue somewhere in here, and I was like, damn. But I tend to agree more with Joshua Moons' review of ISOM. Like it's not like there's problems, like a lot of it, but but like Joshua Moon said it the best. Like, this is what y'all getting fucking mad over? Like this fucking thing? Like, jeez. And
yeah, look, people are allowed to like whatever they like. People can like my stuff, they can like Ethan's stuff, they can like Eric July's stuff. If they don't like it, don't buy it. It's that simple, right?
yeah,
But making this
but
huge big rigmarole, and I understand the arguments, and I even early on when it was just ISOM, I agreed with the argument. It's like, look, if you're getting 40,000 comic books to people for the first time, this is not the best foot forward, right? Because what you're trying to do is addict people to these comics, right?
Mhm.
But Eric has hired some top tier talent to move forward with the
Chuck
next
Dixon.
stuff. And I mean, dude, Alpha Core, he's got 13,000 individual backers for Alpha Core. And I don't know how many total covers he sold, but that's going to be 13,000 people getting a Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett book. And that might just hook them on my hobby, which to me, that's why I went to Shadiversity. That's why I went to Quinn's Ideas, and I hooked him up with Matt Weldon to do his books. And because I'm like, I want YouTubers who are in any kind of nerd space at all to make comic books, make good comic books, to get new people reading comic books, because Marvel and DC, Dark Horse, Image, none of these people have done anything to push people into comic books since the 90s, right? There's been no actual outreach to reach new readers since the 1990s.
Yeah, it's
And
like if
and
you know,
and
you know.
YouTubers,
Right?
dude, look at just between Eric July, Shadiversity, and Gary.
Oh yeah, Gary.
Their subscriber base, I know there's some crossover, but there's a lot of not crossover because they're three different animals. Um, that's more people in their subscriber base than the entire North American comic book buying market.
Especially
So
Gary. Especially Gary. He's a fucking monster, dude. Look at him.
he is. He's done a phenomenal job. He's grown so fast in the last, 6 years.
Yeah,
It's amazing. It's amazing.
yeah, I started truly like watching him in like 2022, 2021. And like I'm like, damn, he has like 1 million already. Like fuck. Like
Yeah,
that's
he's almost at 1 million. He's at 940,000, something like that. Yeah, dude, he was only like 60 or 80,000. I had never heard of him when I met him. I was at a San Diego Comic Con with I was with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and he introduced me to Gary, and I took them around the con, and I introduced him to Billy Tucci. I think I introduced him to Chuck Dixon. I introduced him to a bunch of people like walking around and stuff, and
that's where
that was before I'd ever even watched his show.
Perhaps you introducing him to Chuck Dixon. That's probably why Chuck Dixon is now with Air. It all connects. It all it all connects, guys. But yeah, like I actually tried. I'm actually currently trying to get Gary. Like I really want to talk to Gary. Like that's kind of like he's like in my top 5 right now.
Yeah.
And so Gary, if you're watching this,
he's not watching this.
But if you are Gary, hi. But yeah, that's whatever.
Yeah, Jay Hamilton in the chat says Eric is being successful with that. Hate the game, not the player. Yeah, he's being. Anyways, back to that point. It's like I want all these guys. I want Gary. I want Geeks and Gamers. I want everybody making comics, selling to their fans, and getting new people addicted to comic books. Because if that's the case, then you have this more right of center audience who could become the majority of comic book buying people in America. And if that's the case, you can completely shift the market.
Yeah, I'm actually like trying like in the best way I can because I'm not a big YouTuber or anything. But I actually want to make my own comic. Like soon. Well, after I like publish like 1 or 2 books of my own, I'm slowly finishing this first one. Okay, that's a lie. I actually have a book published, but don't read it, please. It's not good. But once I get like 2 more books published, I think I'll start with my own individual comic. I have an idea. I already have the hero and everything, like the and the design as well. I also got my pal. Let's call him Red. Because his last name is Rojas, so like so Red. So Red. He also has a comic idea. But I don't really know if he knows. I don't really know if he kind of, because he told me, right. I'm kind of scared what he's gonna, because he told me that he wanted to make the hero of his story get the suit by like issue 70, and I was like, George, what the fuck? Like what the fuck? 70 that's like 70 issues, that's like forever.
He might need an editor.
Yeah, I'm like yeah, I was like bullying him. I was like oh, you need
yeah.
you need but it was that's something like he wants to make his comic, like we're something. And another person that I kind of like also got into the whole like comic writing, I'm like kind of making them obsessed with comics, is my girlfriend, who is also a superhero. So like but I kind of got her into like she's like drawing that shit, like she's right, and so yeah, I'm slowly infecting people with the like what you said,
the hobby, yeah,
the hobby.
Jay Hamilton says Eric is also multifaceted with his political commentary, music, and comics, so he pulls from a lot of different groups. Yeah, and that is the thing, is that like not everybody who's listening to Eric is listening to Eric for his comics commentary. Right?
Yeah, Backwards. That's the name of his band.
That's why I
Uh,
think I think like if Gary does a comic book, oh my gosh, that thing would like I think Yellow Flash's comic is going to do $1 million because
oh yeah,
his
Yellow Flash is getting fucking bullied. Oh my god.
it's gay, but he's got what 400,000 subscribers, something like that.
He's big enough. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
big enough.
and his audience is primarily comics and manga. So he's
Yeah,
got that
mangoes.
audience who's going to be already predisposed to buying a comic book. Unlike Eric July, who has a segment of his audience who is into comic books, right?
Yeah,
So I
but
think
Yellow Flash is like pure like I mean, look at his fucking name.
yeah. So
Uh,
he's got the potential to be just huge. So that'll be great.
yeah, I think he'll do pretty good. And Dillard, isn't he like also a decently famous Dillard draws?
I don't think he's famous.
Oh, okay.
He's a solid
Oh,
artist though. So I think
that's good enough.
yeah.
But yeah, but yeah,
And
basically,
he's got Literature Devil doing the editing for the
wait,
writing, and he's got
Lit Devil?
Kelsey Shanning, Literature Devil, Lit Dev.
Wait, yeah, Let Devy's doing the fucking edit? Damn,
He's editing,
I didn't know that.
and he's got Kelsey Shannon helping art direct, basically, more or less art direct. So yeah, he's got a killer team, and he's got the right audience, and I really think that book has the potential to be a freaking banger. So yeah, but him, if Nerdrotic jumps into this game, I'm just telling you, man, we could.
Oh yeah, I really would want Nerdrotic to make a comic.
Yeah.
But I think because like like out of all of the fellowship, if that's what you want to call them, he is the one that actually like he had a comic shop. He's pals with a lot of like famous comic and movie people.
Yeah.
And he like talks like, and his whole channel has just been like comics like and mangoes and like I think he would have some that like, which is honestly like a problem with Eric, I guess. Like, 'cause, yeah, Eric is like also a comic person, but Eric is like at some point there would just be long spans like of videos, like long spans of videos that's just straight politics. So I do think Eric, not no hate on Eric, but he does lose the plot occasionally. But
well, no, because I think politics and the culture war they're intertwined. No, it's
no,
like,
yeah, they're intertwined. I'm just saying like Eric like just like for sometimes in his channel he would just talk straight politics. You know what I'm saying? Like not like it's just like talking to shit about like the like vaccine mandates, for example. And but like and it's just like completely removed. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying like, but like Nerdrotic is just pure comics, you know?
Yeah. Well, he's pure pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's beating the drum, man. It's like I know a lot of people they'll say the material is stale because they're still watching Disney, they're still watching Star Wars, they're still doing this. They're doing pop culture commentary. That is the purpose of Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, those guys. And I think I might get tired of watching it. You might get tired of watching it, but it's beating the same drum because over time, it takes different things to redline fans, right? So like for me, I didn't redline on Star Wars until Rise of Skywalker, right? Some guys.
Oh, you haven't seen any of the Disney shit that you haven't seen anything Disney has released after Rise of Skywalker?
Oh no, I have. I'm saying redlined in the sense that okay, this is stupid beyond the pale.
Oh, okay.
Right. This is, the Mary Sue stuff and all of that kind of stuff. But everybody has different red lines. Some people, it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles turning April into a fat black girl, right? Different people, Rings of Power. Like there's always new stuff coming out that is going to be somebody's red line where they're like, all right, I got to wash my hands of this. They're just producing nothing but crap anymore. And then they go out and they seek like-minded people and they find Gary and Jeremy and whoever else is out there still beating that drum every week. And so that's why there's a constant inflow of the disgruntled fan, and they find Nerdrotic and these other channels, the fellowship, so to speak,
Yeah.
as a welcome place where it, like the old days in the comic shops, where you'd go to the comic shop on Wednesday and you'd, complain about, I mean, you wouldn't just talk about comics, you'd complain about the latest, pop culture stuff. That has moved online. We're an online, on our phone culture nowadays. And so people, they're not, people still do go to the comic shops, but not as many. But this is the water cooler talk of the nerd culture, and it's on those guys' channel, and it's growing the movement and the disgruntled movement that will eventually need something else to supplant the entertainment that's gone sour. And
Yeah, yeah, it
yeah.
really is It really is growing. Like, have you seen the people drinker interviews now? Like, he got Russell fucking Crowe. Like, that's fucking insane.
Oh gosh, dang it! I haven't seen that yet. Yeah, I knew about it, and it just slipped off my radar. I need to see that. That's rad.
Yeah, like it really is growing exponentially. Like this like community, like they like everyone has been like even Hollywood, like to an extent, is kind of noticing these people. Like Drinker alone has interviewed a couple of Hollywood celebrities. He interviewed the directors of Bad Boys Forever. He also entered, yeah, the the brothers.
I don't know who they are.
Um, they're like Middle Eastern brothers.
Yeah, but
Uh,
that's the thing about guys like that and guys like Nerdrotic. I mean, they're getting Alex Jones, Salty Cracker, freaking
Salty-
Vivek Ramaswamy, Benny
oh yeah,
Johnson. You're getting these bigger cultural influencers and public personas because, like I said, they keep their eye on the prize. They never delve into this interpersonal drama that might feed them super chats, but it's not gonna focus the brand. It's not going to fight the fight. It's just going to make you money. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Like, they're fighting the good fight, and uh, I, but sometimes it's really hard to tell if they're winning or like if Hollywood is even listening at all. Because like to me, Star Wars
Oh,
is dead.
Hollywood is
Like,
listening.
but not listening enough. Because to me, Star Wars is fucking dead.
They're
uh,
listening. They're just not reacting, but they're paying attention.
well, just I probably already know your opinion on this, but what's your opinion on Star Wars or the MCU, for example?
Um, I I was trying to watch the Star Wars shows, but I gave up on those, and I gave up on the Marvel shows a while ago. I don't. What was the last Marvel thing I even watched? I don't know. They just got so bad.
I am
I mean,
like
hey, if they put out another Daredevil series, I'll watch that, right?
they're making Daredevil Born Again,
Yeah, so I'll check that out.
but it's like a reboot. So like, fuck you, like fuck the
It's a reboot.
yeah.
Daredevil Born Again, the comic book, isn't a reboot.
But like the show is, it's a reboot of the 2015 one that came out.
Well, I'll judge it when it comes out then. That's the thing. It's
Uh,
like I tend to give things the benefit of the doubt until they give me reason not to.
like okay,
I'm
so
not as
the
reactive,
well the term okay, the term is soft reboot. Like the like it's a soft
It's
so it's
still
not season.
Charlie Cox, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
it's not season 4 is what I'm saying.
Oh, it's not?
But it's not
Whatever,
like
whatever. Whatever it is, when it comes out, I'll judge.
but like yeah, like my relationship with the MCU is like I feel like a tattered housewife because like I'm still keeping up with it. Like I keep going back to it even though I know I'm just gonna be disappointed.
You watch all of them?
Yeah. So I watched WandaVision,
I
Falcon Winter Soldier. I
I
watched all
like
those fucking.
WandaVision.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
Damn.
perfect, and they all have stupid stuff in them, but I like the take. It was I don't know, it was unique and inventive. And
I'd give it like a 5.
yeah, I'd probably do that too.
Uh,
But I wouldn't say I hated it by any means. So,
but yeah, I watched all of Phase 4, all of it, even what if send help.
I think I watched like half of What If, something like that. I watched. I didn't watch Miss Marvel.
I did.
I watched Loki.
I hate
I
Loki.
actually like Loki, but I
Uh,
like Loki because I like Tom Hiddleston in the role,
I hate Loki so much. You have no idea.
and I like Owen Wilson in everything. I watched it for the actors, not so much for the story.
Okay. Okay. I'll give you a pass. The only Phase 4 thing I really genuinely liked, is I would consider it good, is Hawkeye, of all things, surprisingly.
I did like Hawkeye.
Because yeah, it does the same thing that all these fucking things are doing, like the replacement female. But I gave her a pass because she actually struggled, like she actually went through the shit. So
She had a good story.
Yeah, like she actually went through the shit, and Hawkeye actually had to fucking rescue her. Like, she's one of the only actually normal female protest. So that's okay. Hawkeye's honestly, I bet your chat was gonna think I was gonna say No Way Home. I fucking hate No Way Home. Honestly, it's not a good film.
Stop it! Awful Ragnar Gaming says you can see her struggle to act. No, the actress for Hawkeye is a good actress. I can't remember what her name is, but yeah.
No, she wasn't terrible.
No, she's a good actress. I think she's a good actress.
And she was an alright character. Like she struggled. She had to overcome adversity. And yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, she wasn't a Mary Sue by any chance.
Yeah, no,
stretch.
which is.
And I love that her inception point is wanting to be an archer was Hawkeye, and then she put all her time and effort into being the best. Trying to reach his level of skill. So.
Yeah, but that's honestly that is the only good Phase 4 thing. I really don't like No Way Home, people wouldn't say Hawkeye, people say No Way Home, and I'm like, no, nah.
Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the one with the 3 Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's not a good movie, dude.
Trying to remember it. I did see it.
That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign.
I know. I mean, I remember some scenes, but I really can't remember the story. That is a bad sign, isn't it?
The story is fucking. Peter gets discovered. In the last film, Peter's Spider-Man. But then Daredevil fucking clears his name. But quote unquote clears his name. But then Spider-Man to save his friends, Peter Parker to save his friends the trouble of
Oh right, he goes to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and then Doctor Strange does he does incantations, and that fucks the multiverse. And then Tobey Maguire Octopus is here, and then Tobey Maguire Green Goblin is here.
Okay, that was cool. Bringing Doc Ock back was cool.
Because
that's Spider-Man 2 is the best, possibly the best superhero movie they ever made. Spider-Man 2 was so good with Doc Ock.
Yeah, I can respect that. Actually, what is my favorite superhero movie? Damn, I don't even have an answer to that.
It was like that or Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier's pretty good. And then, but the No Way Home is just I don't really like it, to be honest. It's so I like the film is just okay, it knows what it is, but that doesn't mean I have to like it, it's just
yeah,
it's the story's broken, it's fundamentally broken.
I might have to watch it again.
I watched it twice. I watched it once in English and I watched it once in Spanish. Because my family doesn't speak English, or it's most of them don't. So here we are.
Yeah.
Phase
Was
5, I liked. Wait, how long was Phase 4? Oh God, Phase 4 was long as fuck. I freaking remember that. Like, damn. Yeah, Black Panther Forever was bad. Miss Marvel was bad. She-Hulk. What's She-Hulk? I don't even know what that is anymore. Yeah, everything was bad. Star Wars. Don't even get me started on that. Ugh. Actually, when did you stop watching when did you stop watching Star Wars? Like, when did you give up? When did you quit it? Go
well,
back
like
on.
I said, the Rise of Skywalker was where I was like, because I I excused a lot of stuff, I think. And it's really funny because like I'll go to one of these movies and be uncritical because I want to have a good time, right? And so I
Yeah.
watch it and I have a good time. And then like you can go watch a Mahler video pointing out all of all of the stupid crap, and you're like, you're taking away my enjoyment because you're right about all of this stuff. And it's like it was like remember Batman? Oh no. Superman Man of Steel came out.
Yeah.
And when I sat down in the theater and I watched it, I enjoyed it. But it was like when I started thinking about it, all of the stupid stuff started sticking out. And I'm like, that movie was really dumb. But it's like if you just turn your critical mind off and watch something, you can enjoy it. But that's like you come to a place where now you're oversensitized to like like Mary Sue stuff or SJW political stuff or making them gay and lame stuff, all that, and you become so sensitized to it that like those things start to pull you out of the movie and pull you out of your enjoyment.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, that's not a Man of Steel problem. It's just a Zack Snyder problem.
Zack Snyder hasn't done a good movie since 300.
Let me think about it. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Guardians of Gahul was pretty good. It's a shit adaptation, but it was a pretty
The
uh
what?
Guardians of Gahul, the owl movie.
I don't know. I didn't see that. I feel like Zack
Thank you,
Snyder
Zach.
Zack Snyder has a great skill set, but storytelling isn't one of his skills. So he should get together with someone who's a great storyteller and work to develop movies. It's like Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is a great set piece author. You could pick any individual scene out of any individual Quentin Tarantino movie, and you're like, that's a great freaking scene. But he can't tell a story. He can't, right? It's like the story.
Wait, what?
That's why his best film is Reservoir Dogs, because he stole the plot from City on Fire. And he
Wait,
put
what?
all of his Quentin Tarantino set scenes in that plot. And it's like
You
the
don't like
plot
you don't
is concrete and the
you
scenes
don't
are
like
all awesome.
you don't like Tarantino?
Like I said, he's got a particular skill set and he's very good. He's probably one of the best at that skill set, but that skill set does not include telling a good story.
I mean, yeah, I guess like a lot of his movies, the story isn't really anything crazy. Like even like I love Tarantino, but like if you see Django, like
No,
Django is
oh,
just
that's the worst.
and
Django was the worst example of how he can't tell a story. That movie has 3 climaxes. It's like that's not.
Yeah.
You get so
like
bored of climaxes in that movie. It's like,
yeah, like a lot of his films, like the story clearly like Quentin just neglect like all the stories of the film, like like again Django for example, it's just oh slave he wants to free girl. Wow, that's insane. That's rad.
yeah.
Inglorious Bastards. We got to kill Hitler. We can't go wrong with that, right?
Yeah, but
Uh,
dude, so many great scenes.
yeah,
Right? Right?
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. Like, yeah, like. But to be fair though, like, if your story is so mind-numbingly simple, I guess, but I guess like characters and dialogue kind of enhances, I guess.
Yeah, oh that's that okay, that's characters and dialogue and set scenes. there's barely anybody in Hollywood who's better than Quentin Tarantino in those regards. But
Yeah,
just like
so,
I said
like,
with Zack Snyder, he should get together with somebody who can actually tell a story and then work together, right? So
yeah, and that's really strange. I mean, 300 was the example of this because obviously Zack
because
Snyder
Frank
did it.
Miller wrote the story.
Yeah, he fucking yeah, yeah, like Frank Miller wrote. Actually, we could actually this was even in Zack Snyder's first movie, Dawn of the Dead. Like again, he fucking rebooted that shit. That was a reboot. Fucking Guardians of Gahul, which is a movie that I didn't know.
Mentioned. Yeah.
That's also based on books, famous kids series. This is the beginning of the end because the movie wasn't at all Zack Snyder didn't even try to adapt the kids book series. So
Yeah.
thanks, Zach.
I just think it's interesting when people get I guess you'd call it, you know, like they get so big that and they've been successful at doing what they do that they don't understand where their weaknesses are anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because like actually, the more you think, like Man of Steel, Zach just completely changed it. Like Superman was like this, hopeful thing, and now Zack Snyder was like, I get what he was trying to do, but like,
He's trying
chill
to
out.
turn him into Batman.
And then ironically, he made Batman versus Superman, and that was
Oh, that was so bad.
uh actually, and what other films has he made? Oh yeah, Army of the Dead. I enjoyed it initially, but then I was like, I didn't like it anymore. The only things I liked about Army of the Dead was like the weird details, the weird like motifs, like the whole time loop,
I didn't see it.
like the whole time loop theory, and the whole like UFOs in the background. I like that shit, but the actual story I found it boring.
Yeah,
And
Awful Redneck Gaming says, "Why do you keep saying that name? It was the dumbest thing.
God damn it,
That was
save,
so dumb.
save Martha.
Save Martha. Why are you saying the name of your mother? Why don't you just say save my mom? Because your mom's name's Martha too. Or did we just become best friends? Yup."
But yeah, like Army of the Dead. The only thing I liked about that film was the gay like details about like the aliens and the time loops. But the actual world building is odd. Like, why is Las Vegas its own country? Like, you didn't have to do all that. And you this film is one of the only instances of Chekhov's zombies because in the film they say that the zombies are gonna come back when it fucking rains, but that shit never happens. So like, what's the point of saying?
Really?
Yeah. And also there's
Yeah, I haven't
robots.
seen it, so.
There's also robot zombies too. So like, fuck you. And apparently Zach wants to make a universe out of Army of the Dead because Zach can't help himself. And the newest shit that he made, Rebel Moon.
I haven't seen it yet. I was gonna give it a chance, but I haven't gotten around to it. And
You're gonna.
everyone says it's garbage, so
It
I
is.
don't know.
It really is.
Awful Redneck Gaming in the chat says Batman is the greatest detective, and Batman didn't know the name of Superman's mom. Kill me.
But yeah, Rebel Moon is actually like but like, and I'm gonna tell you two reasons, a non-spoilery on what to expect. So if you know the history of this film, you would know that this is actually meant to be a Star Wars film.
Yeah, I know.
But fucking it got rejected. So this implies that Zack Snyder was so bad that not even Disney Star Wars. it does,
Yeah,
um,
I don't know if that's the case or it's is Zack Snyder just not um you know down enough with the programming. But I don't know what's in it, so I can't really speak to it because I haven't seen it. So
and another
was that a I got to wrap up pretty soon here. Was there any other particular questions you wanted to ask of me?
I had a couple. No, I had like a other topic. I was actually gonna say this. So a while ago in this call, I said that that I had like a comic idea or something.
Mhm.
And I have like my own I have like an idea for anything. So I was just saying, if you're ever in the need of hi. Hi, what's up? But a cool collaboration for the future, I guess. Future plans, suppose you could say.
Well, you never know. You never know what I have up my sleeve.
But yeah, if you're interested, but if you're interested in working together, hi, what's up? I'm Tom. I'm actually, but yeah, I can send you details if you want like some other time.
All right, some other time, man. I believe in meritocracy, so.
Yay. So if you gotta wrap things up, it was nice talking to you. Follow my Twitter, Tom Alpheus, where you can see me ramble about nothing, or you can actually see progress about my book being done. And also, obviously, follow Mike S. Miller. I heard he was pretty cool. And
Depends on who you ask.
And but yeah, it was nice talking to you.
You too.
I'll see you later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Peace.
See ya.